All right, if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise the Morning on Enterprise TV, and now to our main conversation for today. In yet another show of shame that mirrors the leadership and aptitude in arresting insecurity in Nigeria, no fewer than 87 persons were kidnapped by terrorists in a fresh attack in Kaduna State on Sunday, March 17. The terrorists are said to have broken into shops to cut away food items and all the valuables at about 10 p.m. and shot sporadically before taking their abductees to an unknown destination. It will be recalled that on January 27 this year, terrorists reportedly ambushed the soldiers on peace mission in Kwanang Mutua in Gwari local government area of Kaduna State. While the sad incident made global news headline, more than 280 students between the ages of 8 and 15 were yet again kidnapped in Kaduna State at the assembly ground in the morning. As the world poked fun at Nigeria and those in authority for their lackluster approach to security issues, terrorists demanded they be paid 40 trillion naira, provided with 11 Hillock vans and 150 motorcycles as ransom to release 16 victims that were kidnapped in Gunmen area of Kaduna metropolis on February 28, 2024. The catch question here is, why Kaduna State? Emeka Madunagu, thank you so very much for being around. So let's discuss this issue. And of course, it's become an epidemic in Kaduna State. And the question, just like we read here, why Kaduna? Why Kaduna?
Why not Kaduna? Why should it be elsewhere? The point is, when the state has failed, when the state has crumbled before non-state actors, that's what you have. It doesn't matter the location. The point is, Kaduna has the highest number of military institutions.
Exactly.
Maybe about 16.
Yeah.
And so Kaduna should be the most guarded state in Nigeria. But you saw what happened. That insurgents entered into the Nigerian Defense Academy and kidnapped somebody right from a defense academy. So what do you expect? You see, when you take crucial national decisions just for political expediency, in time to come, all these things will crumble. And that is what is going on now. The sighting of all those Nigerian Army Depot in Zaria, Kaduna State, Command and Staff College, Jaji in Kaduna State, and all those institutions left, right, and center in Kaduna State. Well, just for political expediency. These things should have been spread across the country, but for political expediency, they were brought together. Nobody thought about, okay, how do we secure the vast tracts of forests around Kaduna State? These forests leading into some other states. How do we secure this forest? How do we make use of this forest? How do we build barracks? Army barracks, police barracks, SSS barracks, civil defense barracks, to make sure that the state is well secured. But you didn't do that.
But what is even most disturbing is the fact that there are network routes, tarred network routes across the length and breadth of Kaduna State. And some of the terrorists that do this criminal act use those access roads. And the question is, what happens to all of the military formations in that state not guarding this network roads and possibly averting such issues in the future?
You know, we will just face facts. The Nigerian military is overstretched. We've serially abused the Nigerian military, unfortunately. The military is supposed to be for external defense, not internal security. That's not the job of the military. But we put the military, the elections are coming up, we deploy the military. 2 women are fighting in one market, we deploy the military. Oh no, everywhere. We bring the military everywhere. That is gross abuse of a national institution. The military is one of our heritage institutions and should not be subjected to the kind of banality we see today. That is why the military has lost its firepower, so to speak. Because what we have now are just, people, the military just responds. The military is no longer proactive. The military is reactive. And what do you have? With time, it reduces the strength and effectiveness of such an institution.
Now, do you think it is fair? What on the street would say. Do you think it is fair to maybe pull in Nasru El-Rufai in this discourse? Because it will be stated, it will be seen that a larger chunk of this criminality actually started when he came into power. So would it be fair to say that possibly there is something Nigerians are yet to see with regards to his personality?
No. It's just the same ridiculous assertion that some people made that Abba Kyari, who is in custody for alleged misdemeanor, that he should be brought out, and sent, to go and lead the fight against bandits. No. This is a national problem. You don't build a society of strong men, of big men, of people who feel, people you turn into. No. This is a problem that requires the input of different institutions. The police, as they are overstretched, heavily under-equipped. The military, severely abused, under-equipped. Then you now have socioeconomic problems, which form 70% of Nigeria's security problems. People are hungry. People have no jobs, no sustainable livelihoods. Yes, go around and see what a lot of people do. They are not sustainable. They can't ensure sustainable livelihoods for them. So, if criminals come with money, with good money and bribe, they will readily serve as informants. They readily provide information to criminals without any compulsion, because why? They have to feed. They have to pay their bills. So we have a complex security situation in Nigeria. But I think, you see, government can actually nip this in the bud by involving all the arms, all the branches of the security establishment, one, and then the local people. Vigilantes are very, very important in dealing with security challenges. Hunters, they are very, very necessary. They are very, very important. We've seen how the Civilian Joint Task Force in the Northeast really helped in the fight against Boko Haram and ISWAP. So I think the government needs to make up its mind about state police, whether it really wants state police. 2, community policing is very important. Beyond state police, community policing is something that has been talked about, maybe implemented here and there, but government must now do something about it. Community policing, the recruitment of constabularies. If you can provide regular jobs for a lot of people who can easily be lured into criminality, then you would have reduced that incentive for non-state actors to cause problems.
Now, Emeka, as interesting as your submission is, because it's very important. Now, your submission is okay, it's fine if all is fair, but I think it's important we need to, bring into reality the political space we find ourselves. Let's take the case of Bayelsa, for example. During the time of Alamesia, it was stated, especially with the current happening in the Niger Delta, that what led to the Udi cleansing was because of the young non-state actors that was used by Alameseha to win votes, right? While the people who were becoming nuisance to the community, which led to the killing, and of course we knew what happened. Now let us take that to Kaduna State also. We often have had the rhetorics from El-Rufai, when he came into power and decided that, of course, there wouldn't be equal opportunity from southern Kaduna and the northern Kaduna, and all of those, fracas that happened as a result of that. Now, don't you think that these are the burning issues? We understand state police would work, vigilantes would work, but when political institutions and those who head some of these political institutions are not ready to ensure that there is safety and there's peace in the community, how do you think, even if we have community policing, it would work?
With due respect, I would not like to discuss Nasser El-Rufai.
Why?
It's not my idea of a politician or a leader at all. It's somebody I would just respectfully not want to talk about. Because to me, that would be making him look important.
Even if he is allegedly, seen to be an enabler.
Well, if he is, why have the authorities not dealt with him? Why? So that is just a speculation, not founded on reality. But what I'm trying to say is that there's a sitting governor. There was this idea in the past administration that a same-faith ticket was the best for Kaduna. How anybody thought that would foster unity in a state like Kaduna with a number of, with a multiplicity of ethnic nationalities
and religious.
I mean, was to me, it didn't make sense. So now, Southern Kaduna has constantly suffered, just like Plateau, just like Benue, just like parts of Taraba. What do we see? Constantly, influential people recruit terrorists from within and outside Nigeria to attack indigenous communities. It's a land grab scheme, land grabbing. Now that they find out that the military, won't allow them continue the land grabbing, what are they doing? They're now kidnapping people and asking for ransoms in trillions. What are they going to do with it? It is not those ragtag insurgents that are actually the problem. Who are those behind them? But in the typical Nigerian fashion, we will not unmask them. We will not expose them. Nothing will happen to them. And then the problem we just keep moving in a circle. We keep moving in a circle. We keep moving in a circle. Every year we keep dealing with the same problem because we are not self-driven to find easy solutions to problems.
Now, how do you think there would ever be a solution to this? Let's just assume that that we have everything is fair. What do you think would be the best solution to all of this?
No, you see, the current governor, Obasani, has moved off that path of hateful rhetoric.
Oh, okay.
That was associated with the previous administration. I don't want to talk about that administration. But he has done a lot to try to bring different faiths and different ethnic nationalities together so that there can be peace and harmony in Kaduna State. And I commend him, and I think he should do more. He should do more. He should not be influenced by the hateful rhetoric, the divisiveness of low-level politicians, or politicians with low mentality, who only think about themselves and how to cause mayhem, cause division, who are only after destruction. But when a little touches them, they start crying out. Let Governor Obasani of Kaduna State continue on that path of bringing the people together, reconcile the people. Then let the security establishment deal with these terrorists once and for all. They know them. These terrorists are known. Their locations are known. They are not hidden. Yes, I know they kidnap and run into the forest. But what has happened in FCT? The time they could easily, why are they not operating anymore in FCT? Government has taken the right measures.
Now, talking about government taking the right measures, finally, the last time we had a state of emergency in Nigeria was during the administration of Obasanjo with Plateau State. What stops...
With Plateau, with Ekiti, that was Plateau.
Exactly. So what stops Bola Ahmed Tinubu equally declaring a state of emergency to some of these local governments, especially Kajuru? What stops him from declaring a state of emergency so we can really, if really we are serious about nipping this in the bud, what stops the president declaring a state of emergency in that place so as to bring a final end?
If you remember, former President Jonathan declared a state of emergency in, I think, 15 local governments. But what happened? Former President Muhammadu Buhari shut the borders of Nigeria to stop the inflow of rice, smuggled rice, vehicles, and small arms. What happened? Has it stopped? No.
But that cannot be equal to a state of emergency, like as was seen with Olusegun Obasanjo.
No, you see, let me tell you something. You cannot, in trying to cure a headache, cut off the head. You don't do that. It doesn't make sense. What do you need a state of emergency for? Identify the problems and deal with them. You see, this idea, we should stop nursing this hangover of military rule. The military have no solutions in a democracy. The military should remain subservient to civilian authority. They have no solutions. That's why you hear people talking of a coup, military coup. What solutions will the military offer that can be better than a democracy? No solutions. So the point is this: let us identify what the problems are and then deal with them. Then those people who are promoters of hate, divisiveness, let them be dealt with. No, the government should not feel that anybody is bigger than the law. Nobody is above the law. Nobody is above the law. That is how democracies progress. That is how we have great nations of the world. You can see in the United States, in the former president Donald Trump, is being taken through the judicial process because the law is no respecter of persons. True. So the point is this: deal with the issues. State of emergency will not resolve anything. You will just pack soldiers everywhere. They already overstretched Nigerian military. You will still stretch them further, pack them everywhere. And at the end of the day, they will just end up, committing human rights infractions. They'll just end up flogging people, treating, subjecting them to frog jump and all of that. And you will not get the criminals. Yes. So the point is this: let everyone be a stakeholder in securing Nigeria. Everyone, whether government, whether opposition, whether the civilian populace, the entire security establishment, let everybody be involved in finding solutions to our security problem. And then, additionally, we need to use technology. The world has advanced. There are these things, since there is a pattern, it's easy to deal with. Because they will always want to strike on certain days of the week. They want to strike through certain roads, in certain places. So when there is a pattern, it's easy to deal with it. Unlike those who just act here and there, who keep moving here. No. If there is a pattern, identify that pattern. Build a blockchain security architecture such that you can ring-fence them. You can ring-fence those terrorists. Doesn't matter if they run into the forest.
And neutralize them.
You will neutralize them. You will use technology. But the problem is, if you vote money for technology, politicians will embezzle them. They will steal the money. And so in all this stealing, they forget that they themselves will fall victim to these terrorists. So let us find solutions. And let's try to avoid doing anything that can threaten our democracy. It is very important that we continue to nurture democracy till we get to a point where these teething problems will be will be done away with. And then we can have a virile democracy.
Very true. Very, very true. So apt. I used to remember when Kaduna State used to be a safe haven for Nigerians from all parts of the world. Today, Kaduna State seems not to be the same safe haven for Kaduna State people. Talk more of Nigerians. But of course, we pray that we will see and have that day when Kaduna State will return back to what Kaduna State used to be before, and Nigeria also same. Thank you so very much, Emeka Madunabu, for being part of our show today. It was really indeed an engaging discussion. Thank you so very much. And for you watching, we'd love to say thank you so very much also for giving us your time today. Please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com. Like, comment, and follow us on our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. On behalf of the entire team of Enterprise TV, thank you for watching. Bye-bye from me.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.